Let's get this thing moving. I said that we would have a former champion coming out of that break, and that's exactly what we have. Steve Carbone making his annual appearance on the program for the Smack Off. Stevie, what's up, kid? How you doing?
Jim, it is good to be here, although I am calling with a heavy heart. As we learned last week, Jennifer Love Hewitt got knocked up by some B-lister who co-stars on her horrible show. Not only that, but she compounds that mistake by doing the next most logical thing, getting engaged. Because as we all know, getting married because you're pregnant is a smart, educated move with nothing but your child's well-being in mind. Good job, Jennifer. Good effort. I'll be expecting to see your child in couch sessions with Dr. Drew by around 8th grade. And no, that take was not done out of pure and utter jealousy. I love you. You know, I like Jay Stu, I really do, but he is never going to make it in Hollywood if at any public speaking event he continually gets shake voice. Why does he cry in his phone calls? I don't get it. For any lawsuit smack that's going to come my way today, yes, I've been sued. Twice in 2 years. And RealitySteve.com is bigger and more popular than ever now, so scoreboard. I know Chael Sonnen's been taking some, so let me pile on a bit, but let me start off with the old standby. With all due respect, Chael, winning the Smack Off out of the blue was impressive, I guess, but were you writing a book about it? Did we really need chapters to each part of your phone call? Baseball, basketball, football. I mean, I know you were basically trying to say, hey, look at me. The double-digit IQ UFC guy has all these different takes on different sports. I'm multifaceted in my smack. Actually, no, you're a dork. This is a sports show, Chael. When you start talking about Yankee third baseman, we know you're talking about baseball. Don't label your topics in a smack-off call. We're bright enough to follow. And I'm curious, Chael, when you won the title last year, did you add that to your UFC professional record? Because you know what? You probably should. Anything to make 28 wins and 42 fights sound better. Holy crap. For every 2 fights you win, you lose. And badly, I might add. 66%. If this was middle school, you'd be getting a D. Joe Blanton is looking at your record going, holy S, that guy sucks. I actually think I might have the answer to your struggles in the octagon, Chael. And it has nothing to do with your conditioning or your Muay Thai skills or how you're not getting drilled in the face defense isn't really working all that well for you. No, here's your problem, Chael. 2 words, feathered hair. You might have that menacing face with the crooked beak and the cauliflower ear, but there isn't anything less intimidating than you stepping into the ring with your flock of seagulls lettuce. You're not beating Anderson Silva with that amount of Vidal Sassoon in your hair. It's just not happening. And let's make a deal, Chael. I know you'll probably come in today and be like, oh, you step in the ring. Look, it's not about that. Obviously, I know you can snap my femur in about 0.4 seconds, but let's make a deal. I won't step into the UFC ring, and you actually come up with better takes. I mean, did you really go on Rome on Showtime and go to the A-Rod and Lion Braun card this week? Hilarious. How long did it take you to come up with those witty nicknames? My guess is about as long as it took John Bones Jones to put you to sleep. Jim, what was that old joke from years back? Why is Chael Sonnen's yard lined with trees so Jones and Silva can march in the shade? Something like that? I always got a kick out of that one. And Chael, maybe calling it quits is your best option right now. Seeing you on Wednesday night with your clothes fitting all loosely now, pretty much know what that means. You're obviously not taking the spike anymore. Dead giveaway. Dead giveaway. Jim, U.S. Open kicked off yesterday. Here's my sports tape for the call. It pains me to say, but the once-a-year tradition of Chris Berman calling golf is upon us. It's bad enough ESPN is force-feeding this guy, literally and figuratively, but why every year at the biggest major? He does no other golf for 363 days out of the year, but there he is on Thursday and Friday at the U.S. Open with his lame shtick. Charlotte Webb Simpson. Okay, enough. We get it. Isn't ESPN pink-slipping employees like it's going out of style right now? How does this bloated Carnival Barker survive every single year? And isn't it a surprise to anyone anywhere that his one endorsement deal he gets is from Applebee's? Applebee's. When you pull up to Red Lobster and the line is out the door, that's when you say, screw it, let's go to Applebee's. I'm sure they're paying you handsomely, Berman, and you're returning the favor by eating through their profits. You are a morbidly obese pig. Man, the worldwide leader has an identity crisis right about now, and it couldn't have happened to a more smug, elitist group of perverts. They had to change their policy on sources. You tweet one thing negative and you get suspended. Anyone who read their insider book knows that you could pretty much nickname the town Brothel, Connecticut. And all their actual good on-air people are taking their talents west, yet they'll overpay mouthpieces like Rick Riley and Screamin' A. Smith. See how I did that, Shale? I took Steven and changed it to Screamin'. Seriously, I want Riley's gig. Anyone that can make $5 million a year appearing on TV 4 times a year has the greatest job ever. And what an absolute hack that guy has become. As for Stephen A., talking louder does not make a tape. Not to mention, contrived arguments do not make a show. I don't want to turn this into a political take, Jim, but some people don't think Guantanamo Bay should exist. I do. And you know how we get those bastards to talk? By rolling out endless footage of afternoon ESPN programming around the first highly questionable interruption, whatever it's called. Four shows saying the exact same thing from people I don't care about. You run that on a loop, and prisoners will be chirping in no time. Vic, Guantanamo Bay is a place for forget it. You'll know soon enough. Jim, I finally got to end this by commending you on getting picked up for a second season on Showtime. It's great work. I always wish you all the best going forward. It's come a long way since you had to battle Wallace Matthews' awful takes on a daily basis. How's that take, Wally? I think Jim will take the last word on a TV career. I like the format of the Showtime show, though. I dig the studio audience. The guests are candid. There's cursing. Good stuff. I'm just struggling with one thing in season 2, Rackman. It seems like there's a segment missing, Doug. I'm noticing that the Sklar brothers are getting more run and knockers, and I get it. They're kind of the 21st century, more hip, updated version of the Smothers brothers. So I got to say, I don't know. I can't quite put my finger on why I prefer Aaron Cerrone to the Sklar brothers, but I can't put my mouth around it. Barely. Love you, Aaron. Call me. Out.
Carbone. Stevie Carbone, you know it's a good phone call if I'm going to let that thing run out more than 6 minutes long. Steve Carbone. Good job, Steve. All right, so that's going to almost wrap up hour number 2. This is exactly the sort of thing that I was talking about. You thought you had all the time in the world. You thought you were in a good spot. By the time I come back from this, honestly, we may not have time for another phone call. If I take your phone call when I come back, that's not good for you. So I probably won't. Which means then we're on to hour number 3. And hour number 3 is a short hour because I've got to recap the top 10, if we have it, and then interview the winner. In short, we are down to a handful of phone calls. Smack Off 2013. Smack Off number 19. Steve Carbone coming up big. Where do you put him? When we come back, another former champion coming in trying to reclaim his crown. It is the best day of the year in the jungle, and unlike the hack-off, which was a disaster, this is tremendous. I'm feeling this. I'm Jim Rome. This is Smack Off 19, and you are listening to CBS Sports